Yeah, if I am focused on um, talking, is it possible for you to admit people who are trying to get on the call? It's weird. Can't hear me? Janessa can hear me.
I can hear you.
Colleen can hear me. Oh, but it still says your audio is getting set up. Gia, can you hear me now, Gia? Oh, she's gone. Well, Colleen, I gotta message you later. I met your sister today.
Awesome. Yeah, she told me yesterday. She leaves on Saturday. I'm in
Yes.
the middle of drafting an email to you as well.
Oh, she is a darling.
Yeah, isn't she great?
Yes, I could see so many similarities between you guys.
Definitely. I mean, we shared a room for 18 years, so
Yeah, she told me you guys were very close.
yes, yeah. She's been gone for 11 years though, and she's leaving again, so I'll miss her.
Yeah, yeah. That's exciting though.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to go to plus 30 weather right now?
Oh, I'm telling you, I was craving that. She was talking, first Toronto and how much snow they're getting.
Yeah, she has to go get summer clothes that she has in storage, so
Okay. Um, all right. Gia, can you hear me now, hon?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. So just when I go into the speaker view, I might not see if people are trying to join. Do you know if you're able to go and give them access?
I think automatically it gives me the option to let people in. I think so. It should. Let me see if I'm co-host here.
Oh yeah, I guess I could just make you co-host if you're not.
Yeah, if you make me co-host, then I'll be able to do that.
Perfect. All right. Okay, I'm going to get started. Just so everybody knows, I'm going to be hitting play for our recording side of things. All right, all right. Um, so looking forward to the opportunity to meet with some folks, talk to people tonight, especially when it comes to the whole concept and idea of, hold on, I'm getting distracted. I don't know why, Gia, but I can only see your screen. Oh, technology. Okay, I changed it. Hope that works. Um, yes, so this is something I have been very much looking forward to. Um, just to let everybody know, I in my free time, I like to coach a middle school team, and there was only 6 girls who showed up tonight. 5 are on the court. It was so thrilling. It was so exciting. But I was hustling back here, and I thought, just need to take a breath for a second. It's been a very long, packed day, and that's great. For those of you who I have not had the privilege of meeting yet, my name is Kate Hansen, and there are all different types of labels and titles out there that people go by, but I really believe that my mission on earth is to help people shift their perspectives when it comes to their potential, when it comes to just what is possible in life. And this is something that I have been blessed with since I was a young girl. There's a lot of people who don't really know what their calling is, or they're not really sure where they fit. And I can tell you, I know for certain that I was meant to help people see a new perspective for themselves and to see themselves in a new light. And something that continues to pop up in my own life and in a lot of the conversations that I've been having with different high achievers, with different people who are hustling their little butts off, is that all of those people are dealing with different belief systems. They're dealing with different fears, because we are being bombarded with information constantly about the economy and financial fears and about what could go wrong. And you can feel this like collective panic where everybody's starting to talk about it all the time. And it's amazing how we are the ones in control of the economy. Our behavior, our actions, they're what change the debt ratios for countries. Like, we have so much more power and control than we acknowledge. And something that I experienced in my past was not acknowledging these feelings and beliefs until it physically affected me. And like, I'm talking on a larger scale than just finances, but my whole goal here is that I want everyone leaving tonight feeling more assured, more confident, and less affected by negative news that we don't want to receive, that we don't need to receive, and that it doesn't serve us to live in a fear-based belief system. Okay, I high level put together my notes so that just so that I wouldn't get distracted and go off track. But I really wanted to start by getting everybody to just think for yourself. You can share it in the chat if you want to, or you could just keep it for yourself. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to be really honest with yourself and reflect on your personal financial confidence. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you currently fall? This is something that I feel like we don't talk about enough. There's enough shame out there about any topic that is about money or income, and it's a taboo thing. But we need to work through that. We need to walk past that, because when we all talk, when we're all honest and open and transparent, everyone benefits. Everyone benefits. And my journey up until now, I feel like my energetic minimum of how much money I'm comfortable with has maintained, lucky for me, somewhat high, because I have been blessed. I have been blessed financially up to this point in my life. I can tell you, and I think that it happened just by the luck of the draw of who I lived with, how I was raised, because my personal self image around money was one that I struggled with. My first job, I finished university. I was so excited. And with my background in sociology, psychology, this corporation hired me. And I thought, woohoo, this is so lucky for me. And they said, what is your expectation for your pay, for your income? And I just said, anything more than minimum wage, I would be so happy, because up until that point, I had worked minimum wage jobs. And they laughed out loud. And then they said, do you know what job you applied for? And then afterwards, I was told how much that could have hurt me. The other people, they were hiring a whole bunch of university students for succession planning. They came in researching the industry, researching different job grades, and asked for what they wanted. Not only did they ask for what they wanted in income, they asked for parking, they asked about their benefits. And just because that person, I think, had some sort of sympathy for me, they helped me out. But that just showed me, it reflected back to me how low I valued myself and how little understanding and knowledge I had about the financial realities. What's really important is that we need to empower each other with knowing how to ask for what you deserve and how to understand other people. Nothing outside of you determines your value. It is completely driven from within. So when you're thinking on that scale of a 1 to 10, where your confidence lies, I want you to just think of the first number that comes to mind. Okay. We're not trying to push it, go too deep here. My goal is that by the end of this session, you will know how to elevate that number for yourself. Wealth isn't just about numbers. We know this. It's a reflection of your awareness, your belief systems, and your aligned actions. I'm going to go through 3 steps. It's relying on some of the program work and the values that I share as a coach and within our company, but they can be applied to any goal. And when I'm talking right now, it's about increasing financial confidence. That is the goal that we're aiming for. This subject is really important to me because I don't believe that money is the end all be all, and I don't believe that that is what fuels everyone. They actually, when you go through training, leadership training, they tell you people would rather be recognized sometimes than being reimbursed or being paid. And I just think how far that goes when you realize that different people are driven by different things. But truly, for you to have the impact you want to have, for you to give back, for you to take care of your family, for you to have the experiences you want to have, for you to live in a home where you feel safe and comfortable and you have food on your plate and in your fridge, all of that requires money. It's a reality. And so we need to get our thinking right so that we are not impacted by anything going on around us in the outside world. And that is possible. There are people who see these times in the world when people are talking about the cost of living and they're talking about just everything that's going on in the economy and on the globe with the tariffs. All of that is just fear, fear, fear if you don't have actual facts, if you don't have real information in front of you. And yet it's keeping people up at night. Fear, financial fears is one of the top reasons that people are kept up at night, that they can't sleep. Worrying about their next paycheck, living paycheck to paycheck. And you don't have to live like that. Once you know different, once you know better, you do better. Once you know better, you attract better. So the first step that I want to share with you is awareness. Okay, so step 1 is just awareness of the fact that you are living out results of your beliefs. What you see right now in your financial reality, whether that's your net worth, whether it's your debt, your savings, your physical assets, it is a reflection of all of the thoughts that you believed up until now. So we do not focus on our current results to tell us what is possible. We do not look at our current reality to tell us what's coming next. It's just a reflection of old thoughts. It's just a reflection of old beliefs. And you can change your thoughts, you can change your beliefs. That's how quickly you can change the results that you're getting. So you can't change what you can't see. If you're not aware, if you don't take ownership, what I love is that this moves you out of victimhood and into an empowered hero role. Because as soon as you take responsibility and you become aware, you're in control. You've taken the control back, which immediately is going to inject you with confidence. It's going to give you that sense of empowerment. Because what makes us feel bad is when we feel like we're out of control, when everything around us is unpredictable and we start to panic. You get back into control. So I want you to spot the money stories that you're telling yourself. And when you start to feel them in your gut, this is when you're going to stop and you're going to say, okay, what am I thinking right now? What am I believing right now? And what can I think better? What can I change my belief to that would actually make me feel better? So one of the things right away is that I want you to review your current environment, whether it's what you're reading, listening to, conversations you're having, people you're allowing in your circle or in your life. Are they providing you with more of a scarcity mentality, or are they providing you with an abundance mindset? If you're hanging around with people who can't get off that hamster wheel of talking fear, you need to give yourself some space from that. Energetically, they will pull you down to their level. And it doesn't matter how positive you are, how hard you work at this. If you don't intentionally remove yourself from those environments, you're going to have such a struggle on your hands. So in the awareness, you become the empowered person to get out of those environments and to put yourself in environments where you are around abundance, when you are around people who are not fearful, they're innovative. They're not negative, they're optimistic, they're inspired. They see opportunity when everyone else sees dread. And I'm telling you, those people are out there. I'm one of them. Come hang out with me because we all need to support each other and stay at that level. The other thing you want to consider are what are the stories that you've been told or that you've witnessed? Because those create some limiting beliefs. Some of the stories, it's like when you are young and you're so impressionable and you hear things that are just said over and over, or actions that people take about the fear that there won't be more to come. I know this one example, it's kind of silly, but it applies. There's this person that I know, they come from an extremely large family, and whenever there's food out, they go crazy. They like dive over everybody. And I've seen somebody else do this at a work event. They're the first in line, they're like piling their plate with food. We're like, what is going on? Well, where I grew up, if you didn't do that, there might be nothing left for you. It's a scarcity mindset. Imagine how many places that is playing out in that person's life. So whether you witnessed it, whether you were told, you gotta hide your money, you gotta put it under your bed, or there might not be more. You gotta save for those emergencies. All of that, people could have great intentions. They could have great love for you in telling you these things, but it may not be serving you. It may be something that's keeping you stuck or keeping you at a certain level of income or debt that you can't seem to break through. In order for those to change, you have to change what you believe. So, what are some limiting beliefs you have around wealth that are due to the stories that you witnessed or that you heard? Like you have to work hard to earn money. The harder you work, the more valuable you are, the more you can earn. We are learning that is not true. That is not true. And also, like I heard so often, being loyal to a company, being loyal, being loyal. The economy is changing, the world's changing. What else is true is that even I knew people when I was in my corporate position who were corporate people. They had lived their life there, and they said when it was starting to impact my health and I wasn't in a good situation. So this isn't to apply to all people in different work industries or environments. But if you are not at your best in health and in wellness, you need to make the change. Because I was told no matter what, no matter how hard you work, I was put in 60-hour weeks. And somebody said, you're still just a number. I'm like, no, it's different with me. It's different. I do a lot. They know I do a lot. They said, yeah, but if you got hit by a bus or if you couldn't come into work, they would replace you very quickly. So there is no point in sticking around at something that you don't absolutely love, that doesn't just drive you wild, that it doesn't even feel like work. Because it's true that the idea that if you just stay long enough, that that's worth something anymore. It's not. What's more important is how you take care of you and that you enjoy what you're doing and that you find that you can get what you want out of those situations. The other thing is that your employer has capped your income, so that's all I can make. That's not true. That's not true. I know lots of teachers and people in different professions where they're at the top of their pay grade and they were creative and inventive in ways of using their skill to make extra money by creating a side course, by creating an app, by doing tutoring. If they didn't allow themselves to be limited by what other people told them about their ability to earn money, they would be in the same spot, but they didn't listen to that. They listened to the abundant thinkers. And the last part about awareness is your self-image. This is a really big one, and I find it more often comes up with women than men, is our beliefs about ourselves and what we deserve and what it's okay to ask for. One of the stories I share with a lot of people is that I love this story from Mel Robbins. If you haven't heard of her, she's in the industry. She's fantastic. She wrote the 5 Second Rule and the High Five book, and the most recent book I think called Let Go. She's fantastic. She's all over the news. Like, I've just seen so much of her. And she shared a story one time on a podcast that was just fantastic about how when she was starting out, she got this gig to be one of the public speakers at a big convention for a huge, like, I think the biggest financial firm in the United States. And when she got there, one of the women organizers pulled her aside and said, "I have to tell you, you almost weren't picked." And she went, "Oh, why?" And she said the other 4 or 5 speaker were all men, men she admired, men that were really, really well known in the industry who did great work. And she said they were all asking like 3 or 4 times what you were to be paid for doing a public speaking opportunity. And the executives thought you might not be worth it because you were charging so low. And she said her team had been begging her to increase her prices for a while, but it wasn't until she heard that message that she increased her price. And she said, because nobody talked about it. Nobody told her. That was the first person who, and she thanked them greatly for being so kind and considerate to let her in on the fact that she was underpriced. So perhaps you're being underpriced right now. Perhaps you're not asking for enough. And the surprise I keep having is that when you ask for things, you get them. You're the only one who's hurt when you hold back from asking. You never know unless you ask, right? And even if you ask high, you'll probably get more than if you had just not offered anything. So your financial future is not dictated by your past. It's created by your present awareness, by the thoughts and beliefs that you have right now. This is the really great part, guys, is that it is something you can improve upon. It's something that you can change, that you are the only person who can change it for you. I think that's really something to be enthused about. It's something that gives you back control. So then the next step is refining your wealth perspective. So perception drives results. If you've ever heard this before, you attract, what is it? Track, whatever you track, you attract. So I used to track my debts, and every time, this is so crazy, and this is the whole energy behind money. I had a self-image, a perception of I'm someone who carries, I can't even remember the number now, but say it's I'm somebody who carries $30,000 in consumer debt. And then every time I'd pay off that 30, something would happen. A car would die, the roof would go, something would happen. This happened for so many times. My husband and I, we got hit with this lesson so many times that we had to listen. We decided to renovate our basement. And we had this huge amount of money. I'm not even exaggerating or lying about this story. The government dropped $60,000 or $40,000 in our bank account. We were like, what's that for? And because we weren't thinking, we were just like, whoa, whoa. We decided, well, for now, let's just use that to pay for our basement. It sounds so stupid as I say it out loud, but we were really living paycheck to paycheck, and we were so excited to not have to carry this big debt. And then, of course, the government said, oops, give us that money back immediately. And then they just started taking it out of our account on like a monthly basis with interest. And we were, holy smokes, what are we going to do? Like, back to square one. We had all of this debt that we had to pay back, and they were taking out of our money. So all of the money we were trying to save, government's just taking it back out. Then we had something happen with one of our employers overpaying us. I'm not even joking, like $20,000. Like, whoa, what happened? And then they said, oops, this is within 2 years that this happened. And did we learn our lesson the first time? No. We got this large sum of money that was unexpected. We knew that they were going to have to do something to rectify it. We still used it to pay off our debts, thinking we're being so smart. And then when they started taking it, they took it out of our paycheck. And so again, we were back to square one. And it was like we just kept attracting the exact same amount of debt. So as soon as we felt like we were getting out of it, we got back into it. And then I heard this, what you track, you attract. And somebody said, Kate, like, you're fantastic at tracking your debt. So good at it. I had spreadsheets, I had little booklets. I was so proud of the fact that day to day, if you asked me what my debt was, I could tell you to the penny. And when somebody said, start tracking your net worth at least considers your assets and your liabilities. So if you're not familiar with that, that is something I highly recommend all of you do. As soon as possible, figure out what your net worth is. And then set it as a marker. It's just a stake in the ground. It changes. This isn't to say that this is like something that defines you, but then in a month, or if you want to do it quarterly or even 6 months, check in again. What's your net worth? That will tell you whether you're making smart decisions. That will tell you what you are doing, because as you pay down debt and as you increase your savings or you start to invest or you start to have assets, they balance each other out. And the good thing about this, I'm gonna do a horrible job of explaining this because numbers, numbers and me, we're learning to be friends, and my husband's the financial person. But what I learned about this is if you only look at the debt, say you purchase a car, this isn't reality, but say you bought a car, $30,000. You only see $30,000 in debt. But you say you buy a car for $30,000, you pay down, you're now at 25, your car say is still valued at 29, you're still in the plus. When you weigh your assets and your liabilities, as you pay down your debts and your asset hopefully is holding value, you are staying in the black instead of going into the red. So it's more of a holistic view of your finances, because it's not that you just don't have money anymore and you had something in return for it. It's also, we put so many labels and beliefs behind things that provide shame, that make us feel bad. But if you invested in something like a trip, or if you invested in something that you really needed, then that debt isn't bad. It's necessary. There's a difference. So we need to change our perception and our perspective when it comes to wealth and spending and utilizing credit properly. So there's a lot of common financial fears that I've heard in many conversations. And what we need to do is we need to reframe them. And so if any of you guys relate to any of these, or if you have any that I don't mention, drop them in the comments and we'll reframe it as well. Okay, so the first one I have is a fear of not having enough. So this fear that if I use up what I have, there won't be enough. Some of the ways that I saw this in my own life was that, say, if my husband and I, when we first moved into our house, people would give us, say, dishes, or they'd give us different things as decorations. And were they our taste or style? No. Were they something that we actually needed? No. But our fear of not having anything made us hold on to it. And so I would keep things I didn't like, or I would keep things that we didn't need, just out of a fear of like, what if we ever run out? Then we'll need that. Then we'll need some backup. What if I run out of plates? And I didn't realize that that was me holding myself closed from receiving more, because my arms were already full of things I didn't need. So I needed to start believing that there is money all around me. I do not need to worry if all of a sudden my work was gone, or the economy changed, or anything happened, anything. I will always land on my feet, and I will always find a way to attract the amount of money that I need. That's how I reframe it. And so now when I purge, now when I get rid of things that we don't use, that I don't like, that I don't want, I feel more abundant by getting rid of it. When I see that open space, then I know I'm going to attract what I do want for that space. One of the wonderful ladies on the call tonight is a personal stylist. And we had talked about that, about going through and doing like an edit of your closet, getting rid of the things that don't fit you anymore, that you don't like anymore, that are outdated. How many of us are holding on to things that don't fit anymore, or that we don't like or need, out of a fear? There's another saying you'll often hear me say, is how we do some things is how we do everything. So if you're doing that with your clothes, there's a good chance you're doing that in other places with your finances. Another fear, again, guys, feel free to put some in the comments if you can think of other common financial fears that you've heard in your circles or in your environment or on the news or wherever. The fear of financial failure. So a lot of people maybe have past experiences where they weren't smart with their money. They spent when they shouldn't have, or they invested in something that didn't go the way they hoped. right? And then they feel like I'm ashamed, like I'm a failure. I can't trust myself. I don't make good financial decisions. So then you stop making financial decisions. The ripple effect is not good. So if we reframe that instead, that every decision that you make is an investment in your own learning and growth, the emotional impact that comes with making a financial decision that didn't go the way you wanted, that is powerful. That is priceless, actually, because it taught you something that if you didn't have the courage to try, you would never have learned. At least you tried. And I love the idea that everything is an investment in me growing and getting better, and everything is moving me closer to being that financial queen that I know I have in me. The next one I have here is a fear of money conversations. People are fearful of sounding silly or sounding like they don't know anything, or I would rather be honest when I don't know. I love asking my husband, who I should mention as I keep saying this, he's a financial advisor where we live. I love asking him questions that he just shakes his head. I didn't take it in school. I didn't learn anything about finances. Like that's something that's new to me. So part of my true vu, that's what we call our like deja vu. You go to a vision of yourself in the future so often that when you attract that new result, it feels like deja vu. My true vu self is a smart money mover. I make smart money moves. And it's by every day I am studying and learning something new that wealthy people do, how they spend, how they save, how they use insurance, how they invest. I'm reading books, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm choosing what inputs I'm having. And I'm learning from people who are where I want to be. I'm not listening to people who are in situations I don't want. Have you ever noticed that the loudest opinions, they're not on the court with you? They're not trying, they're not doing the things that you're doing. They shouldn't have a say. They shouldn't have a say in what your belief system is. And the people who are where you want to be financially, health-wise, in their careers, they would never put you down for trying, and they're going to help pull you up. They're going to see your vision and they're going to help you get there. So when you hear somebody doubting you or putting those fears in you, remember, who is that person and where are they coming from? Is their situation one that I want? Because if not, then you can just bless and release their advice. I'm not saying be rude. I always take people's inputs. Oh, interesting. And a lot of people assume that I'm just going to believe them, but I actually have my own filtering system of yes or no. Do I believe that? Does that feel right to me? And if it doesn't, bless and release. So now I love having money conversations. And I've been amazed at how many successful people I've worked with. And I've been attracting more and more successful people into my life as I've opened up my mind, and their openness about income and about ways that they save money and make money, how they do less to make more. It's changing the game for me. But you won't know that unless you're bold and brave enough to ask the questions and to be open and honest about what you don't know and what you do know. I am worthy of financial success. I am worthy of learning. I don't need to be apologetic. I am unapologetic in claiming my value, in asking those questions so that I can level up. Okay. One of the things that I am a huge advocate for is meditation. We're not going to do a meditation today, but I do want you, you don't have to do this right now, but to spend a moment closing your eyes and just feeling what it would feel like if you were financially empowered and if you were confident in yourself when it came to your finances. What would that feel like? You may have a memory where you felt really proud of an investment, or you looked at your savings account and it was higher than you expected, or maybe you've been with a company for a long time and you saw what you've been putting away towards share ownership plan or something. Go there and just remember how good that felt. Maybe it's the first time you bought your own vehicle, whatever, your first home, your first apartment. Go there often. How does it feel when you're feeling good and proud of an investment or good and proud of yourself financially? The more you go and get comfortable with that feeling, the more you're going to attract. And when you're in that space of closing your eyes and imagining yourself with money in your account, money in your checking account, money in your savings, your investments are blowing up, your assets are all growing in value, how does that feel? How are you showing up? How are you talking? How are you acting? Who are you spending time with? Who are you not giving your time to? That's really valuable information. So get there, go there, be there often. It feels so good when you give yourself the time to stop, pause all the noise, and just listen to yourself within. That feels really, really good. And it's going to give you clues on how you attracted that feeling. All right, the last step, the third step, is aligning your actions with financial mastery. So, this is one of our True Vue principles. Small, consistent actions create lasting transformation. So I'm not somebody who's really big on fast and quick and look how quick you attracted all this money, or look how quickly you lost all that weight, or you changed your situation. That isn't important to me. It's about you becoming a better version of yourself, about you learning. For you to attract that goal, you have to become a new person. And if it took you 20 years, 30 years, 40 years to become the person you are now, to have the beliefs you have now, you're going to want to give yourself some time to become that next level version of yourself. Because the repetition you've been hearing up till now, it needs some time for you to reprogram. So those small, consistent actions, they are building a new belief in yourself. So the 3 pillars of wealth, confidence, earning power. Increasing your income without working more. There are so many strategies for you to make more money doing what you're already doing. It could be asking for more. It could be looking for an opportunity, doing something similar for more. It's really within you. You have the creative ideas, awareness, and knowledge of how to increase your income without working more. A lot of the small business owners I work with, or people who are solopreneurs, or they have a small business, a lot of the stuff that we come up with is things they delegate, things they delay, things they delete completely. As an entrepreneur myself, the number of times I financially learned a lesson the hard way by paying for something, some expert in the industry said, you have to have this. If you want to have good clients, you have to have this social marketing tool. You have to have this website. You have to have this or that, whatever it is. And I pay for months at a time and I never see the results. And they go, oh, well, I guess that's you and not us. And I think, man, I didn't even need to pay for that. They got me. They got me in a lack of awareness and a lack of confidence in myself. So by cutting out that one feature, I save money. So sometimes it's by cutting something out, you make more money. And another thing that somebody taught me was that set your goal for your financial future. And then with that goal, you can break that down to figure out what your hourly wage will be. And then when you figure out what your hourly wage will be, anything you're about to do, you need to figure out whether it's worth your time investment to do it, or whether you should be delegating or hiring someone else to do something. That's just a little tip that has changed the game for me and how I look at how I spend my time. So your earning power, I want you to work on that. Think about your earning power. Think about how much you can make and attract and bring into your life without doing a bunch more, without feeling like you have to work yourself to the bone. The idea is we want you to be wealthy, and wealthy people, they have time. So there's lots of smart strategies for businesses, for your careers, for your investments, how to make your money make money, different collaborations you can do. This is something you can do research into. And guess what? Once again, you're putting your energy, your effort, and your focus into attracting more, as opposed to falling victim to just taking in whatever the news and negativity is that's out there. Financial mastery, second pillar. This is learning the basics of saving, investing, and wealth building. Talk to people who are where you want to be or who are experts in that field. So my husband being a financial advisor, the year I was born, my dad became a financial advisor. So I was raised by people in that world. And so I was raised with a lot of awareness just from learning from watching my parents and from watching my husband and what they tell people and the millionaires and multimillionaires that they work with. They are learning, learning, learning. And there's so much out there to teach us. There are so many ways out there to be more tax efficient, to be saving or investing properly, how to use insurance properly. No matter where you live, there are opportunities for you to learn more and make more because of what you learn. Trust yourself and go to the right sources for information. Don't ask your friend who's living paycheck to paycheck. Don't ask the person who has been money stressed their whole life how you should save or like put your money away. Ask people who are where you want to be. The third pillar for wealth, confidence, mindset, and energy. Wealth isn't just a strategy, it's about your self-worth and your inner trust. This is the big one for me. This is one that I'm still working on every day and still taking chances and learning from every decision I make. But how much do you value yourself? How much do you value your time? And if this is a difficult one for you to notice, talk to somebody who you love and trust, who you know sees you as your best self, who can say back to you, who can have that conversation back and forth with you about what they see in the way that you show up, what you do, and what it says about your belief in yourself with money. Sometimes we need an outside perspective to see things that we don't realize we're given off. Okay? So here's a little exercise for you to do when it comes to your wealth. What is one financial move that you can make this week that aligns? It's kind of weird to say this week when it's a Thursday, but you know what I mean. Within the next 7 days, that aligns with your most abundant self. Write it down, share it in the chat, whatever ideas you have. But what is one financial move that you can make in the next 7 days, the next week, that aligns with your most abundant self? It's going to be different for all of us. But if you take this seriously, that one move, that one act could be the beginning of a ripple effect of other financially beneficial moves that you make for yourself. It'll become addictive, I promise you. Okay, so as I'm just wrapping up, if anybody has any questions, let me know. Put in the comments. I don't even know if I can see the comments. So if you've been commenting and I haven't said anything, Gia, please let me know. Stop me at any time. But now I want to ask you to think on these things. You can write it down on a piece of paper, put it somewhere for yourself to think about. We are going to keep this recording so you can watch it again if you just want to listen, and then you can take notes later. But the first prompt I want you to consider is, what does wealth feel like to you beyond money? So when you think about what wealth means to you, what comes to mind? Is it time? Is it freedom? Is it security? Is it impact? Is it giving back? Is it being creative? What does wealth feel like to you? And I'm saying feel intentionally. Your feelings are guiding you. They're telling you what you're feeling, or your feelings are telling you that you're thinking in a certain way. When you have a negative feeling, you need to catch yourself and say, what am I thinking right now? What am I allowing myself to think and believe right now? So what does wealth feel like to you? The next prompt is, what is one belief that you are going to release today? What is one limiting belief that you've had about money, that you know you have about money? You know it's been holding you back. and you're going to release it today so that the wealthy version of you can shine through. Last prompt, what's one new financial affirmation or action that you're going to commit to? One new financial affirmation. Affirmations are statements, commitments to yourself, new realities. I like to use, like, say you have a financial fear. I like to state it in its opposite form and use that as an affirmation. Or what action are you going to commit to? Be bold, be brave. You have one life. You deserve to have more. You deserve to attract more. Okay, so I realize that, again, conversations around money are still a little taboo. People are a little nervous about it. I'm hoping that some of the people on tonight will be brave and bold and share a financial power move that you are committing to doing. What is one bold financial power move that you will declare, that you will commit to doing? I can't see anything. I feel like such a rookie on this, even though I'm on tech all the time. One of the things that I am declaring is for myself to be more real. I was meeting with some pretty incredible people today, and one of the things that we said we wished we saw more of was realness from people, being honest. I remember there was this one money coach that I really respected, I really admired and trusted them. And then the one thing that never felt right to me was how much they showed off stuff. They were showing off like their bag, their shoes, their car, their house. Everything was about that. And something about it felt hollow. I just thought I appreciate this person. They've got a great mindset. They've got a great way of teaching. But I feel like they weren't being really transparent and honest. And you can tell. So I want to be more honest so that I can help people who aren't where I am and so that I can learn from the people who are where I want to be. Gia, do you have a question?
Janessa has something she meant. We have a couple people in the chat box who mentioned some of their goals.
Okay.
Janessa said learning to invest this year and surpassing 5 figures every single month. Also continuing to focus on the positive income coming in every single day in our life. Amazing. And then we have another one from Colleen here that says, I'm wealthy in all areas of my life and attract great people and money.
Fire. That's so good. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing, ladies. Thank you for being open. There's so much that we can do. And when we talk about the best outcomes, when we talk about what we desire, what we want, we're not making room for what we fear or what we lack or what we doubt. You choose, you go one way or the other. Thank you for sharing those with me too, Gia. Thank you. Appreciate that. So
You're welcome.
I thank you, Hun. I wanted to end it with just a quick little Q&A open. If anybody has any thoughts or anything that they want to share on these topics, anything that I brought up, if there's anything that I missed, whether it's about the mindset shifts or about the reframing. Does anybody have any questions or any inputs that they want to share from what I shared tonight? Just so you know, I am very good with uncomfortable silence, but I also don't want to waste recording time where it's just blank. Anybody have any insights or perspectives on the environment that they're in? Is anybody in a really healthy environment where it's all like big moves, innovation, how to take advantage of these situations? Or Anybody in those types of situations? One of the things that we shared the other day, I was doing some research preparing for tonight, was, and I'd forgotten about this during the pandemic, how those food delivery services exploded. Think about the whole world closing down and they exploded. There was businesses that developed when other people thought the world was closing down. And I actually know the people who were part of Skip the Dish when they were just in that part of experiencing the boom, and they were scared that their systems couldn't hold the volume of orders coming in because it grew so fast, so unpredictably fast. Imagine that. Meanwhile, other people are at home worrying about money, and this company exploded. Gia, you have something to share?
Janessa said 2025 is big money moves. Love that.
Yes, this is the year. When everyone is going in one direction, that is your cue to go the opposite direction. When you hear a lot of fear, when you hear a lot of doubt, that is your time to be brave and bold and say, okay, there's got to be opportunities right now to think outside of the box, to make my move, to take a step. This is your time. Opportunities are all around you all the time. You just need to get quiet with yourself and think about the gaps and think about the sparks that come to you, about the ideas that you have on your heart. If there's something you've been wanting to do, a passion project, a side business, a changing career, this is the time. Believe in the best case scenario. It takes the same amount of energy to think about the best case scenario as it does to think about the worst. We give so much faith to our fears, right? Fear is just the same as faith. It's believing in the unknown and what you can't see. So why don't we have more faith towards what we want as opposed to the fear of what we don't? All right. This is where I am going to wrap up. I wanted to leave you all with just this message that you choose what you allow in. And if you're feeling like there's a lot of repetition on what's wrong, what's scary, lack, doubt, worry, look for where the sources are and figure out ways to change those habits. It's a habit to watch certain shows like the news or to listen to certain fearful people. Those are habits. And you'll notice there's certain people that as soon as you're around them, you start talking. Like you could feel yourself, it just falls out of your mouth, talking about, yeah, the cost of living, yeah, um, recession, all these things, right? And you think, where did that come from? I was doing so well being positive. Think about who you're around. If they're bringing that out of you, you can be a source of change. You can be the person who brings a positive perspective. You can be the person who stands tall and sure, and oh, I will always land on my feet. There is money all around. It's up to me to open my eyes to see it. The better you take care of you, the better you listen to yourself, the more you will attract. Cut out all the noise and you will attract more. You will attract better. All right. I wanted to end with a powerful statement. Wealth isn't just about numbers. It's a reflection of your mastery over your mindset, action, and self-trust. Believe in yourself. If you need a little backing with that belief, message me. I'm here for you. I believe that this ties immediately to your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your overall wellness. It's worth the time and effort to reshift, reshape, reframe your perspective when it comes to your wealth, and it is within your control. If you start looking for proof that there's money all around you, if you start looking for proof that you can attract and will attract more money, you will find it. So hold your vision strong, keep the faith, and take care of yourself, guys. I can't wait to hear it when you start attracting all that new money, when you make that big change for yourself, or when you apply those financial goals that you set for yourself over the next week. Update us, share. I want to hear how it goes. I want to hear how you felt making that power move. You're the difference maker. I'm so grateful for all of you. You have no idea. You are making my True Vue come true. I love you very much. Take care of yourselves, and we will share the replay with you after the call. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, Kate.
Bye.
See you later, everybody.